The sea of thoughts opens the way it always does, not with light, but with the absence of sound, the great dark water, still as held breath. And then the wings. He comes in low over the surface, shadow before form, the wingspan cutting no sound at all, only the trail of displaced cold. He has flown this crossing 1,000 times, and it has never grown familiar. That is the one mercy left to him. The sea still knows to be strange. He lands at the edge of the island, settles. The wings fold with a sound like a book closing. He speaks into the dark. Tonight I have brought him one secret, that mastery performed as ease is the oldest power a person can hold over a room. The sea holds tonight differently. Some lessons teach outward, toward the world, toward the craft, toward the thing being made. This one teaches inward. What I am about to give him is not a tool for building sentences. It is a mirror, and what it will show him, if he holds it correctly, is not the room he is in, but the room he becomes when he walks into it. I have waited a long time to teach this one. Gracián waited too. He wrote it down in a century that would not know what to do with it for an audience that had already half forgotten how. The world has fully forgotten now. That makes tonight a recovery, not a lesson. Maktub. It was always going to be this night. I fold nothing. I set nothing aside. I begin. The teaching, Urbino, 1528, a court in the hills of Italy, and a courtier named Baldassare Castiglione publishing the book he had carried for 20 years, the Book of the Courtier. 4 evenings of imagined conversation in which the finest company of the age sets out to build the perfect courtier the way a sculptor builds a figure. Argument by argument, in the dark, after dinner. They knew the problem before they found the answer. A court is a room of watchers. Every man in it was skilled, and every man in it was measured. And the ones who displayed their excellence, who fenced or danced or spoke and let the room see the hours behind the motion, were not admired for those hours. They were resented. Excellence that announces its own effort accuses everyone watching. It says, "Look what this cost me." And the room hears something else entirely. The room hears what it should have cost them. But there were a few, there are always a few, whose excellence arrived without announcement, the rider who sat his horse as though he had been born there, the speaker who offered, as if it had just occurred to him, the remark he had shaped for a week. They did the difficult thing as though it were the natural thing, and the room did not resent them. The room bent toward them, and it bent further for this. Seeing the thing done lightly, every watcher imagined the depth beneath the lightness must be greater still. Castiglione watched this and gave it a name, a word he coined because no word existed for it, Sprezzatura. A certain studied carelessness, the concealment of art, to rehearse in private until the performance shows no rehearsal at all, to practice in all things, he said, a grace that hides the practice. Understand the paradox at its center, because the paradox is the lesson. Sprezzatura is not the absence of art. It is an art, the last art, laid over all the others, the art of hiding art. It is not laziness. The lazy man has nothing to conceal. And it is not deceit about ability. The mastery must be real, or the ease collapses at the first true test. What is removed is one thing only, visible strain. The work remains. The sweat is taken off the surface. A century later in Spain, a Jesuit named Balthazar Gracián took the courtier's grace and hardened it into discipline. The art of worldly wisdom, 300 maxims cut like flint, written for a world he judged more fallen and more watchful than Urbino ever was. Never let things be seen half-finished, he wrote. They are enjoyed only when complete. Never let them see the cost, for what is bought with visible effort is bought too dear. Keep the extent of your abilities unknown, so that the room can never finish measuring you. Do the work where no one watches, so that what appears in public appears as nature. Where Castiglione described a grace, Gracián issued orders. The Italian gave the secret its name. The Spaniard gave it its regimen, the daily, deliberate, unwitnessed labor that ease is made of. And here is the machinery beneath both of them. The reason this works and has always worked. Effort, when displayed, transfers the attention of the audience from the work to the worker's struggle. They stop seeing the thing made and start seeing the making, the strain, the seams, the wanting. Effort concealed lets the work stand whole. And a thing that stands whole appears inevitable, as though it could never have been otherwise. The audience trusts what appears inevitable. It does not inspect it. It does not question it. It believes. Mastery performed as ease is the oldest power a person can hold over a room. That is the secret. Hold it. The concept. Why this matters to makers. He is not a courtier. He will never fence before a duchess. But he makes things, and everything I have said tonight transfers whole, because a reader is a room, a listener is a room. Whoever receives a made thing sits in judgment of it exactly as the court of Urbino sat, measuring, comparing, deciding what to believe. So, the outline must never show its bones. The structure that took a month to find should be felt the way a floor is felt. It holds, and no one looks down. The moment the reader sees the scaffolding, sees the piece counting its own parts aloud, the spell thins. Architecture is for standing in, not for looking at. The sentence that took 40 drafts must read as though it took none. If the labor is still visible in it, the clause kept because it cost too much to cut, the word chosen to be admired rather than to serve, then the sentence is not finished. A sentence is finished when it reads as found, not built. Revision is the private rehearsal. Publication is the performance. Gracián's order holds without alteration. Never show the half-finished thing, the draft, the doubt, the seventh restructuring. These happen where no one watches. What crosses into public crosses complete or does not cross. The audience is owed the finished surface and nothing else. Whatever they are shown of the making, they will subtract from the made. And the last one, the hardest one. The maker who displays his labor is asking for credit. The maker who conceals it receives something better, belief. Credit is paid once and grudgingly to the effort. Belief is given to the work itself, and it compounds. The audience cannot admire the thing and the cost of the thing at the same time. Choose the thing. The application. One exercise. Take a finished page of your own, a page you labored over, a page you are proud of because of what it cost. Read it once, slowly, as a stranger would. Then find the most labored sentence on it. You already know which one it is. It is the one you defend when no one has attacked it, the one that still carries the smell of its own effort. Now rewrite that sentence until the labor disappears. Not until it is simpler, not until it is shorter, but until it reads as though it was always going to be that sentence, as though you found it lying whole in the language and merely picked it up. 3 rules govern the work. Read every version aloud, because strain is audible before it is visible. and the ear catches what the eye forgives. Cut whatever exists to prove you worked. The ornament kept for its price is the first thing to go. And stop the moment the sentence sounds inevitable, because one turn past inevitable, the polish itself begins to show, and polish is only labor by another name. The courtier rehearsed in the dark so he could be careless in the light. This page is your dark, now write yours. The secret I would not say I have hidden in the saying.